Good evening, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Renee, this is Minecraft, and tonight I am going to build a giant mushroom in the middle of a river while you drift off to sleep. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the sounds of the rain, the breaking and placing of the blocks, the little clucks of the chickens and other animal noises, and let the music carry you into a nice deep sleep. I know I mentioned that I am building a giant mushroom tonight, and it is not going to be anywhere near here. Our first task is to travel to the build site, and we are going to do so on the back of a guest. But first, let me throw this egg. No chicken. We can say hi to Accident, our copper golem. He's working very hard here in the wizard's tower in his potion laboratory. We need to climb the stairs and get up to the level with the snowballs so we can attract Caleb, Widow Guest. And then from there, we will need to ride him to where the mushroom is and will be. Here he comes. There we go. I know it is nighttime, but we are going to set off into the dark and cloudy landscape. To find our giant mushroom. Now I should explain. The mushroom has already been built to a certain degree. It has a full outline and one panel of the stem built in. It is my task tonight to finish filling in the rest of the outline. So don't worry, I will be working hard while you are sleeping, and I will get everything done. Well, me and Caleb, of course. He will be very important when it comes to building some of the more specific and hard to reach places of the giant mushroom. I am a little afraid that I am going to get lost in the fog and at nighttime. Usually I fly over it with the elytra, but tonight we need to move Caleb with us to the build site. So we must take a bit of a slower route. But that's alright. It gives us some time to enjoy the countryside, like these three little sheep here. I think Caleb enjoyed meeting them. Let's climb up over these trees. should be able to find our way from here. I think I need to curve a little bit more to the right. We are about to fly over an old growth. That's an allay. I haven't seen an allay in a long, long time. I believe that's good luck for us. Unfortunately, I don't have a lead on me to grab it, but if it's here now, maybe it will be around later. I was about to say that this is an old growth birch forest, and I do think it's beautiful. Something about the taller trees and just the notion or concept of it being older and somehow wiser, especially when it comes to trees, just makes me happy in a way. And as we get a little closer, you can see the outline of our mushroom starting to coalesce in the distance. It is and will be protecting our mob farm that we use to get the drops from the mods. Mods? Mobs. I got my letters mixed up. And Caleb just laughed at me. Here we are, sort of underneath the mushroom a little bit. You can see the stem, which we will continue down into the water. And then this top part will be the classic red mushroom. One panel has already been filled in. We need to fill in the other 3, and as much of this top part as I am able to do in the next couple of hours. I am going to hop off Caleb, and then we are going to get the building. Let's start by finding some birch logs. That is the main base block that I am building with, at least to start. We have some other blocks that we will use for texturing. But that is a little ways away. I want to get the entire thing filled in before I start adding any details. It always helps, just in my process, to go from largest and least detailed and down to the smallest and more detailed. We do need to hop on, well, I was gonna say we need to hop on Caleb, but we might be able to build up some of these lower layers first. I fear there might be some extra noise. That's not too bad, is it? Maybe it's sort of therapeutic if you're trying to fall asleep. It is just the sound of a single minecart spinning around over and over again on a track that makes a perfect circle across just 4 blocks placed in a square. Oh no, I've fallen into the water. I should be able to get back up. I am filling in the stem of this mushroom simply by placing blocks horizontally across layers, building up layers and layers, following the general outline that I have placed vertically to guide our way. And I fear I will be falling into the water a lot. Maybe instead I can just build up a couple layers, maybe 3 or 4, all the way around, maybe 1 more. And then we will enlist Caleb's help. For the rest, as we climb higher and higher, while this may seem a little boring, I do enjoy repetitive tasks. I'm just one of those types of people, especially when they will result in something as big and beautiful as this giant mushroom, which we have affectionately named the Mother Shroom, as within the lore of this world, this one mushroom has given birth to every other mushroom that you see scattered in bark oak forests everywhere throughout this world. Not just here, but the entire span of the map, where spores stretch far and wide, and the people of this land worship and revere this Mother Shroom as some sort of god or even item from the earth, as a life giver and sometimes a life taker. the shroom must be cared for day in and day out. And they bask in her power, and they wish to be close to her greatness. And so they became as much like the mushrooms as possible. They live in mushroom houses close to their mother. Caleb has seen them for himself. Anyway, all that lore is just to say that we will be building a mushroom village around this mother shroom. And it is also my plan to create a sort of custom enchanted forest biome in the areas surrounding this big mushroom. I think it would be really fun to integrate some custom mushrooms in with the vanilla Minecraft mushrooms, and then we can create all sorts of various shapes and sizes and build cute little mushroom houses. That sounds great to me. We are making some good progress here. Just trying to navigate as close and effectively as possible while on the back of Caleb. He is a bit large, and that can be a challenge to manage sometimes, and I feel I am not quite as practiced on his back as I would like to be. But all in good, and I think this would count as practice, would it not? Let's see if I can get this locked back without Caleb running away. Mission accomplished. My plan here for this stem is I want it to be organic to some degree while still being aesthetically pleasing and not looking too disproportionate or unnatural. So at the moment I'm not trying to hold to any specific pattern or plan. I am just placing blocks down, following general outline that I had already provided, while making small adjustments wherever I see fit, and trying to reserve as many of these birch wood planks as possible, meaning no extraneous blocks on the inside, like how this one becomes extraneous. I thought I saw something moving over there, but I think it's just the glow of the moonlight off of the under chest. And if you notice, it is not really raining anymore. And I think that's because I'm on the back of the happy guest. And I think you have to be in proximity to the ground if you're on the happy guest and you want to hear the rain. Or maybe we're too high to hear the rain, no matter what. That seems strange to me. I feel like we should be able to hear the rain, even at a taller height. Well, I hope that you didn't notice that, and maybe now that I've pointed it out, you will have noticed. And that is my own folly. Well, you can still sort of hear the mine cart rolling around down there. Maybe I will add in some rain sounds to the video here in post-production. I don't think that would go amiss. How about a little editing magic? The rain will start right now. I have just given myself the task of scrubbing through the first half of this video to find that rain sound. On the plus side, I believe we are making good progress here. Let's see if I can get nope. Oh yes, I did. I wanted to pick up that birch block. can sort of hear the rain now. Maybe it's because we're under covers. That would make sense. Oh yes. Now I can hear the rain. Well, since it's not going to be a terribly continuous problem, I think I am going to not put in rain sounds in post-production. And Renee from 2 minutes ago is going to look like a fool. And then 2 minutes later, it will all make sense. Hopefully, the song that's playing right now is a good one. They're all good. What am I saying? This is Minecraft music we're talking about. I am a fan of the newer soundtracks as well. I think they keep the same general vibe of the original soundtracks, while also adding something new and unique, not trying to copy the originals, but I think they're a good continuation of them. Alright, we've made it to the top of another piano. I think we have maybe just one more to go. One more top half actually. We've already done the bottom half. And I think everything is looking great so far. I'm going to take a moment to peek on the inside. Make sure there are no spots like that where mobs can spawn. I wonder if I could use the elytra to get over there, or if I should play it safe. Who am I kidding? I don't want to play it safe. No. I did hit it with my head, but was not able to break it. Wow. I don't even remember where it is. Let's get back on Kalo. And try again. I think I am going to set off the elytra. I hope the rocket isn't too loud. No, that was fine, right? Here we go. Oh, and the sun is coming up. It's going to be beautiful. we can really get a good look at our mushroom. Let's try this again. Maybe I can just stick a torch onto it. Alright, that's good enough for me. Now let's do this once more. Get back onto Caleb. Maybe he'll come for the snowballs. Over here, little one. Big one, I suppose. Alright. There we go. Let's get back to building this last little panel in relative silence. And then we will continue on with the top portion of the mushroom. Oh no, did you just hear me swallow? I hope that didn't bother anybody too much. My apologies. I'm trying to stay hydrated as I record. Alright. Let's hop down and take a look from afar at what we've got. Oops. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. Yes. Let's go up a little further. Get a nice top-down view. Oh, it's a little hard to see because of the mists, but yes, I like how that's looking. We will do a little more shaping along the way, maybe at the end of this video, but for now I want to try to fill in as much of the red as possible. We are going to do so with red terracotta. And it has just occurred to me that I do not have nearly enough terracotta to fill in the entire thing. So we will work with what we have. We have 4 more stacks of terracotta that we can dye. But I think first that might be a problem for a little bit later. I think I do want to fill in and then light up the entire bottom part of the mushroom, which will still be with the birch planks. And I think we might be able to do this without the help of Caleb. Since it's just a horizontal build. But let's see, I am going to drop down here. Just a little ouch. And we should be able to place most, if not all, of these blocks by standing upon them. Just sort of like that, building it out. Let's see, yes, there we go. We need to keep it sort of random. While still following plans that I have already laid. And I think it would be best to build from the center out, which means we now need to build out about this much on every single side. I think that's going to help keep it even all the way around, even if it is a little less efficient. I am alright with sacrificing efficiency for the greater good of the build. I am now realizing that if I build this bottom part with slabs instead of planks, that mobs won't even spawn in the first place, and we wouldn't need to use torches to light it up. And I think that I should do that. Well, I will also probably be... No, it is better to start with a slab base. However, oops, missed that landing. However, in this texture pack, if you stack slabs, you get a different block. I need to come over here to the crafting table. If we stack the birch slabs, we get this texture. So my worry is if we need to detail underneath and we use slabs, we'll have varying textures from the bottom. I guess they're not so different. And if we're using slabs anyways, and the texturing, then I guess it doesn't really matter if they show up at the bottom. and it will certainly make my life easier. Let's do that. Alright, back up we go. Oops. Oh, I made it. That's great. I just realized I can also use red concrete for the red parts, and that will be much easier to obtain than red terracotta. I thought that would be a torch. Rather than replace what we've already done, I'm just going to place some torches along the way here and light up just these blocks. They may get replaced someday anyways, but if that becomes an issue in the future, I will correct that mistake. And I do think I need to climb my way up and get around to this part of the outline without falling into the water. I am realizing this just in hindsight, but it has ended up being very smart, unintentionally smart of me to have built this mega build, medium mega build, close to a mega build maybe, but it was very smart of me to have built it over water so that when I fall, I'm just falling into water. And there's really no danger at all. Maybe let's try to replace some of these here and now, and that will save me time and a headache later. It's going to be very tedious to switch my blocks every time. Maybe we can just do a little bit of building in the dark if you all don't mind. It will help me get this done a bit faster. Remember, we're not trying to be even or perfect. Certainly not perfect. What wonderful timing. All right, let's get back to it with these birch slabs. Let's land properly this time. And here we go. This is where we were working. We can put the torch back in hand and keep placing blocks. I think I did leave a hole back there, but we will fill that in just a moment. With a little crouch action, we can come and fill in as much of this as we can reach, which is not very much, but that's okay. Alright, that's good for that side. Now, let's try and connect these sides. I think that's good. We should place some torches down here, just to make sure no mobs are spawning. I think I lost one of those birch planks. Yep, right there. Oh well. I guess we will just have to come back and fill this hole in at some point. You can place a torch down to remind us. Alright. I think that's good. Let's see if we can get now to this side over here. I guess I do need to connect these. Alright. Last time I tried this, we fell. Let's see if I can correct that mistake. There we go. We're working smarter, not harder. Alright. We'll build out one long row of birch slabs. And then we'll come back and replace the pale oak. And then we'll keep going like we have been before. of crouching here is always good. I believe this should start from here. And this needs to be placed right here instead. Let's keep this going. Block by block. You know how I said a moment ago, well, it was more like the beginning of the video. Remember how I said that I enjoy repetitive tasks? I think I may have spoke too soon. Because this is starting to get a little more difficult to maintain. It may also be because I'm just tired. I've had a busy day today, it's the end of the night. But I was just so excited to build. Get this done and make another video for all of you. I just couldn't help myself. So I will carry on for as long as I can. Without pushing myself too much. Sleep and rest is important, of course, but also your girl's gotta hustle. You know what I mean? Alright. I think I've just got one more side to go. And I think it's gonna be, oh, I almost fell. I think it's gonna go a little faster. So I'm already able to walk right over here. Place these down. The sun is coming up. That's always a welcome sight. Let's see. Let's try that. I suppose I can just walk backwards and break all of these. As long as they're not the one I'm standing on. should be good. Let's start to fill in. With the slabs. And I want to put this one birch plank right here. I don't know why, it just felt right. Let's see, we're sort of back to the beginning now. Let's see if we can keep building out this middle part just a bit more and start to fully connect around to this side. We can maybe replace this row with slabs. Oh, almost fell off again. Alright. I think that will be a good sort of continuation down that way. And these can be at this level. Then maybe drop down a little bit. Ooh, all very uneven here. But I think that's going to be more interesting. Oh, and we did fall. Well, that gives us a great reason to float around a little bit and pick up all of our blocks. And maybe say a deadly hello to these fish. I do need... Oh, he got away. Lucky him. I do need some salmon to hopefully tame the cats that have been spawning in and wandering about our neighborhood. Let's grab maybe a couple more while we're down here. There. Alright. That was a little trippy for a moment. Let's see. We need to get back up there. We need some solid ground to jump from. Oh, we actually should go get more slabs first. Before we do that, we are running out. Good thing we have plenty of planks and plenty more logs. And if we need to, we can always harvest more right here. How's that looking from down here? The transition there was a little harsh. I think we're gonna have to expand that, or more like soften out. Instead of a right angle, we want more of a curve here. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That will come much, much later. For now, ooh, that was a lucky drop. For now, we need to expand out all of the blocks in the center here. Something like that. And then all the way around. There's a good chance that I do a good amount of the rest of this in silence. I think it will be easier for me to get it done. And while I do want to be entertaining for all of you, I also do need to just get this done. So you get the rain and the blocks, and I'll still chime in here and there, of course. And what I'm thinking about doing is just finishing up with the level or layer here of the birch slabs, and then perhaps in a part 2, or at least I will have to do a cut and start filming again on a different day. But I truly and unfortunately don't think I have the ability or the capacity, physically or mentally, to fill in all of this red. That's going to be, I believe, the biggest part of the build that needs to be filled in. And it's gonna be too much for little old me right now. But this has also ended up taking a little longer than I anticipated, just to get done what I've done so far, which is fine. No hard feelings, no worries. It's all part of the process. And I feel like I'm losing my mind a little bit. I'm just sort of rambling without saying anything in particular. Maybe that's okay. especially if you're trying to fall asleep. I can just become the white noise in the background. Nothing too important or exciting. Nothing that strongly requires your attention. All you need to do is close your eyes, take deep breaths in through your nose, long exhales out through your mouth. This will help you get into a nice, calm state of mind. In order to better fall asleep, you let me worry about blocks that need to be placed and whether or not we fell into the water and whether or not this fish lives. That's for me to worry about. Now I'm gonna get back up there and keep working. And all you need to do is just relax. Alright, let's get back to it. It is actually a bit easier to plan exactly what I'm doing when I'm not talking to you guys. Did you see Caleb just run and bump his head into the bottom of our build? Maybe he's acting out a little bit, looking for some attention, because we haven't really used him since the very beginning. But he'll be alright. He needs to toughen up a little bit anyways. He's getting to be a big boy now. He doesn't need to worry so much about staying close to me. I do feel a little silly talking about him like that, like he's my sun or something. That's kind of funny. Did you hear him agree? He just said, uh-huh. He thinks I'm funny. Hopefully this transition has been seamless for you. However, it is now the next day for me. I needed to take a night to sleep. I was really struggling to keep going towards the end of the last little bit. But now I am refreshed. I'm back. I'm ready to finish off placing blocks for the bottom of this mushroom. And I do think that this will be the final part to this specific video. And in a future video, we will build up the top part all together once again. Well, I will be building, and you will be sleeping and relaxing, because you deserve it. Let's keep making this good progress. One block at a time. I still might not have much to say, but hopefully that's alright. You should be asleep by now anyways. And maybe my voice is just softly entering your dreams for just a little while. I have fallen again. Let's fly our way back up. I do think we're making some good progress. I also think there is much more yet to be done. This is the problem with starting smaller and then getting bigger. As we extend the bottom of this mushroom outward, it feels like there is more surface area to cover. And it feels like the build gets a little bigger with every block placed. However, I do think that it will be very rewarding and exciting to see it all come together once we have finished, whenever that may be. I do believe we will need to get more birch slabs sooner rather than later. Let's see if we can finish up this little section first. Alright, we did drop some birch slabs down here. Let's come pick these up. And then, why don't we take a quick fly just over the water back over here so we can grab some more planks and then use those planks to make some more slabs. I do think we're going to need all of these at some point. Alright, let's keep making progress. Little by little, block by block, building it up. Isn't that a song or something? Little by little, piece by piece, block by block, we're building it up. Or am I mistaken about that? Anyways, I am trying to vary the levels here. We're moving up and down a half slab by a half slab. And hopefully from the bottom it will look alright. That's where we will be seeing it from the most. But I do anticipate that we will need to go back in and do some extra texturing from the bottom to make it fully look good. we can pull this center part out just a little bit more before we drop down to the next layer. Something like that. Then we'll start over here and build out, cutting little corners to make sure there are no open spots left. Until we meet up with the other side of this little quarter. We've dropped it a little low. I think I would like this to blend out a little better. I think that's good. Let's see if we can fill in now all the way from the edge. My apologies if you just heard my phone go off in the background. How very unprofessional of me. I was also almost about to sneeze, and I'm glad that I didn't. Alright, now we've met back up at the same level. Now it's just a matter of placing blocks down to fill out this entire side. And I do think it will feel really good to have one entire quarter done. Hopefully that'll give us some inspiration and motivation to keep going and finish the other 3 sides. Well, more like it needs to give me inspiration and motivation. For you, all you're doing right now is just relaxing and enjoying this time to sleep or rest while I do all the work. going to try this method that I have used time and time again, tried and true, where you stand on the blocks and you just sort of back up and hold down the right mouse key, and you let the blocks just sort of place themselves. I know we're missing a terracotta block here. We'll have to come replace that later. Let's go back to our method here of consistent block placement. Filling in this little hole till it gets smaller and smaller, until there is no empty or open space left. We are down to the final row. Perfect. Now we have one entire quarter done. How exciting. Let's just continue on to this side and do the same thing. Maybe we can draw an outline first this time. That should make it a little easier to fill in as we continue to go around. We have to switch it up a little bit, vary the techniques a little bit, just to keep it interesting. And starting from the outside and building in always makes it feel like it takes a little less time. Although that may just be wishful thinking on my part, or sort of a illusion of the process. And what's interesting about this side is how much it dips down. A couple extra blocks here. See all the way down to this step. And we will need to connect all of these right in here at some point. So maybe this can come out a couple blocks. Then we start to build it back up. Sort of like that. This is an interesting conundrum that I have put myself in. That should be alright. And then this will have to drop down a block. Like that. All of these as well. Like I said, there will certainly be corrections to make, adjustments to employ, but for now, I think it's best to just make sure that every single block or every single space gets filled in by a block. And we are now up to the same level on all sides. Let's start to create our box here to be filled in. Let's see. What if we make some square shapes? A couple small square shapes. Sort of like that. Now all we have to do is fill in this square. I keep accidentally placing the slabs on top of each other. All right. That's looking pretty good. We've got another spot over here to fill in. I think we can make another square for ourselves. This is definitely helping with the repetitive nature. But unfortunately, we have run out of slabs. Oh, I did not mean to land on Caleb like that. Let's go over here, grab some more logs, turn them to planks, then turn those planks to slabs. We have almost too many now in our hands. That's a good problem to have. All right. How's it looking from the bottom, everyone? I think that's coming along nicely. Let's get back up here and keep going. We are certainly more than halfway through, which is exciting. But there is still work to be done. We are not quite ready to celebrate yet. Alright, let's fill in this little square. Alright, look at this great progress we're making. We just have these 2 more sides to fill in. But I am confident that we can get this done in a timely manner. We will have to make some level changes here once again. Let's see how that goes. I think we need to build out a bit more of a pattern here. Let's start from the inside and build outward. Oh, I almost fell. Let's see here. We can pull this out a little further. And then this will just sort of curve around and then step up to meet this next level. Sort of like that. Alright. I think we can bring it out a little more right and this will sort of curve around a little bit. Before eventually just stepping up to this layer, which I think we'll do right here. So all of this will fill in a little higher. And I know it's a little lower than where this red outline is, but that's okay. We will worry about that in the future, because I don't want this mushroom to be perfectly symmetrical, straight up and down, with no kind of tilts or wobbles or odd angles. I want it to have a tilt and a wobble and a bit of an odd angle. I think that looks more natural. So once we have these base layers down, we will be able to go back in after the fact and make any little adjustments needed to achieve the overall look and feel that we're going for. Oh, we started to go under. I'll have to make sure I keep an eye out as to where this ends. Maybe we can sort of build out a little outline here. Keep ourselves on a track. All right. Well, this quarter felt like it went by a lot quicker and easier than the other ones for some reason. And I do believe we just have one more quarter to go. Yes, this one still has a good amount of work to be done, so let's get right into it. Let's lock in, as they say, and finish this up. We're doing good. Let's keep going. I do think the side will be pretty easy as well. We don't have a ton of level changes. In fact, we've just met up at the same level. We've got to dip down one more on this side. And we'll be dipping down a little bit on this side. That's all right. Let's see. We have dipped down as well. No worries. It's easy enough to fly back up. And keep working. I do think, however, we should take some of that down. And just for the sake of making it easy on me, let's make all of that just the same layer. Now let's transition all of this up a layer, and we'll see how that looks overall. And then bring it back down a layer, and hopefully this will meet up with the layer from the other side, if I've done my calculations correctly, and it's always possible that I have not. Alright, not too bad. We just need to drop this one down. There, and then that should be pretty good. Why don't we just make some nice, long, satisfying straight lines here, going across, coming back, something like that. Let's see, I think we can make another little box here to fill in. Yes. All right. Level by level. Or layer by layer, row by row, placing down one block after another. While it is the slowest possible way that you could build a giant mushroom, there is something very satisfying about knowing that every single block was placed by hand. It makes the accomplishment feel a little grander and a little more personal. let's take care of this little level change here. And then all we'll have left to do is fill in blocks at the same layer. We're getting so close, you guys. I can almost taste it. Let's just transition right here. How about right here? Alright, just this last little bit to fill in. You guys, we are so close. Let's fill in from this side a bit. And sort of close this gap here. I think we can make a couple little last squares for old time's sake. Like that. Now let's build this out. Bring it over. Here we are, everyone, the last few slabs. And it's done. We have successfully filled in the underside of this mushroom. Now it's certainly not perfect, but it's a great place for us to start. Adding final elements and details. Let's slide on down here. Take a look from below. Oh my goodness, it's huge. Definitely is not symmetrical or proportionate. While that does bother me a little bit, I am trying to embrace imperfections as part of perfection. So let me turn around here so I can say a proper goodbye to all of you. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this evening as we built up the stem and underside of this giant mushroom. I appreciate your time. I hope you are either very relaxed or already asleep. If you would like to see more of my building, I stream live every single Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. PST here on YouTube. Please like this video, subscribe for more peaceful, sleepy ASMR long plays. And there will be a part 2 of this video where we build up the top red part of the mushroom. So I hope to see you there for that. Otherwise, have a great evening, a great night, a great week, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.